That's right, Megan. Earlier this week, K-State became the setting of a major movement that is pushing to draw awareness towards sexual assault and oppression. What started in the Big Apple has now made its way into the Little Apple. Sanitary pads have been posted all across campus with a very important message in regards to the anti-rape movement. After the tornado destroyed where the post office once stood, they needed a new location, and they had to look no further than right across the street. Whether or not the campaign ad had any real impact, we'll never know. But Senator Pat Roberts did end up winning the election. If you've been out and about this morning, you know that it is freezing. So make sure if you go outside, you have your gloves, you have your hats, you have your scarves, and definitely those heavy coats. As we look over to the trees, you can see a little bit of wind blowing. So make sure you have those accessories to keep yourself warm, especially if you're walking to class. Who is Coach Bill Snyder supporting for Senate?
My good friend Pat Roberts, of course.
A question that was answered on national television. According to President Schultz via Twitter, Kansas State does not endorse political candidates. A multitude of Kansas news outlets are having a tough time pinning down what miscommunication transpired between Kansas State's head football coach Bill Snyder and his dear friend Senator Pat Roberts, who was up for re-election. At Bill Snyder's weekly press conference, the Pat Roberts question was raised once again.
Coach, today is Tuesday, Election Day. Why is it such an issue that K-State not endorse certain political candidates?
Ma'am, I think we'll continue. We'll just focus on football today. I think coaches addressed that already, so we'll move on to the next question.
She come to all the press conference?
No, sir.
It is clear Coach Snyder and Kansas State want to distance themselves as far as possible from this issue. But Coach Snyder is still getting a lot of support. John Salem, television account executive at KWCH, expressed his opinion on Pat Roberts' campaign ad featuring Coach Snyder. I would feel violated if someone took something I said out of context and then turned into a political endorsement, even if I supported that candidate. It would be a deception. Although the details of the situation were not released, Coach Snyder did apologize at the press conference following the football game against Oklahoma State.
I'm not going to dwell into it exactly how everything happened, but I made a mistake and I've embarrassed our university, and that's my responsibility, and that was my error. I'm not going to speak to it anymore right now.
The community of Regan, Kansas was full of celebratory smiles, familiar faces, and one large pair of scissors. Community members cut a ribbon last week to celebrate the reopening of the town post office. Just 2 years ago, a tornado whirled through Regan and destroyed many significant buildings, including the post office, but also revealed something unique about the community.
I never heard anything that was negative. It was always, how do we get this done? We have to stay on top of it. Let's not let it die.
Community members had to travel to Lebo, Kansas, which is about 15 miles, to send and receive their mail. But that was not the only hardship they encountered.
We did have to provide a building. That was the one stipulation. The postal system did come and have a meeting with us saying that they would reopen, but we had to have a building with 700 square feet.
After the tornado destroyed where the post office once stood, they needed a new location, and they had to look no further than right across the street. The Community Development Organization reopened the new post office in what used to be known as the town's city offices. Reopening the post office took a great deal of dedication. The hard work even went beyond the community members of Regan and captured the attention and help of Senator Jerry Moran.
They banded together and they've worked at certainly cleaning up their town, attracting people to the community. And one of the things that is a symbol of that is the opening of a new post office.
Senator Moran and the Regan community members are a large part of why the post office is open today. Violent crimes like sexual assault do not only happen in our hometown, they are prominent all across the world.
That's right.
There were a lot of purple and red baseball caps packing Toynton Family Stadium last night when the Kansas State baseball team took on the Nebraska Huskers. We saw some action in the second inning when Tanner LeBach stepped up to the plate and hit a rare triple to right center, bringing Ben Miller home, scoring the Huskers' first run. The Batcats' Max Brown hit a quick single, but was then picked off, giving the Wildcats their first out. Steve Saratori, turned things around for the Batcats and doubled to right field, then made his way home when Tyler Moore singled to center field. Nebraska would come out of Manhattan with the win of 5-4 in the 10th inning. The former member of K-State men's golf team, Robert Streb, will compete in the Masters this week. Streb was a 4-year letter winner for the Wildcats from 2006 to 2009. ESPN will have the first and second round coverage on Thursday and Friday, while CBS takes over for the third and final rounds over the weekend. It is a dangerous idea to go looking for a storm, but for those who do, it can be very exciting.
We've seen it depicted by Hollywood for years. Storm chasing piques the interest of thrill seekers around the world, and in many ways helps keep us safe at home when the weather gets rough.
But what goes into storm chasing and who's qualified to do it? Reporter Austin Barnes joins us live from the Channel 8 newsroom with a look into the life of a professional storm chaser. It looks like John and his partners have a lot of fun out there, even though we didn't get to talk about it. But thank you guys for keeping us all informed and safe. After the break, we will see if the Batcats got the best of a top 20 team. Back here at Kansas State University, students will have a unique opportunity for a special music concert in the middle of campus. Country music star Dustin Lynch will be here performing right here on the K-State campus on Friday night at 7:30 on the lawn of Anderson Hall.
Well, Regan, sounds like all you need for that is a pair of cowboy boots.
Stephen Horde of Randolph, Kansas died on Monday after an accidental gunshot wound to the head. According to the Riley County Police Department, Horde was walking through a wooded area near his home when he accidentally tripped and fatally shot himself.